Thank you very much. Good morning, good day to you. As usual, wherever and whenever you listen to this, there's a knowledge seekers from Keshe Foundation Special Institute. As usual, we welcome you back, and hopefully we can learn from each other a little bit more and understand more about our own structure. In the past few weeks, we spoke about the sight. We spoke about the smell and lung. These two work if the main ingredient works. And a lot of us think that when we are deaf, we don't hear, nothing happens. The deafness belongs to the physicality. The deafness does not affect the work of the soul, the central energy system. What this means is that we become deaf, we become older, we hear less and less, but that does not affect the power of the hearing or absorption of the waves, the sounds of the universe with our soul. In the world of science, we talk. In the world of everyday life, we talk, we live. We call it the sense of sight, smell, and hearing. But without hearing, in a dimension of the soul, without the noise, man cannot live. We are deaf in the ear, but our heart makes that whole noise. Our heart is that system which creates the noise which synchronizes the whole construction of the body of the man. If you take the heartbeat, the noise of the heartbeat, away from the body of the man, man will not be able to survive even seconds. One of the reasons man dies, one of the reasons when you go into an accident and you can't breathe and yet your heartbeat going and then the rest of your body comes alive, after so many minutes, half an hour, they pump your chest. It's the noise which brings you back. It's the noise that takes over the structure of the soul of the man to release energy at a certain way that allows the rest of the system to come into operation. In a way, without the noise of the heart, without that pulse, there is no life. In the dimension of physicality, we have frequency. In the dimension of the plasma, we have the pulse. That heartbeat of the pulse of the heart of the man is to keep in touch, to keep the soul to release what I need, that I can live by. This is why when we get older, the heartbeat changes, the pulse of the heart changes, we catch new diseases, new conditions, we have problem in living, because now the soul releases energies which fits only to certain cells, not to the others. If you check, we know this now, especially with over hundreds of thousands of Japanese passing age of 100, that those who survive, who are living, still living an active life after 100, have a perfect heart or near perfect heart, because the plasma of the soul cannot live without the pulse. And that pulse is not only created by the soul, but the pulse from the soul of physicality tells the soul what to release as energy for the rest of the body. This is why somebody dies on the street and you see people pumping the heart, and then after half an hour it comes, because that pulse, if you keep it to the right sequence, to the pulse of the soul releases the energy that the physicality starts operating. Not because we get the lung going. No way, no under no circumstances. In a next week session, I'll bring a most fundamental science man has ever known. It will change the course of the knowledge of humanity. And if you know any scientists, if you know any physicists, if you know any doctors, get them to listen to next week's teaching. Next week's teaching is like we used to do special sessions for a week for medical, is as important as one of those special sessions, because what I unravel next week will change the course of humanity in the knowledge of science of itself, where and how we use the cosmic energies, which is as a higher level, to change it, to convert it to become the energy of physicality. This knowledge has never been known by man. But as I always said, we get 80% of our energies through the cosmic rays, through the environment. And next week, for the first time, I explain how the creation has hidden this from mankind and how man is mature to understand it. A child on the street will understand it. Then you understand why we absorb different energies from our fingertips. We absorb different energies from our, let's say, back. We absorb different energies from our legs. And when all these energies mix, it becomes what is needed for the liver, what is needed for the cells of the heart, and the rest of it. You can let a man live without the environment, but you cannot let the man live without the soul. You can take the soul of physicality and physicality inside the soul of the man and protect it because it creates environment for it, but you cannot let the man live without it. So what we understand now, especially next week, is one of those most important sessions for maybe for decades we passed, is one of those key points, which if you understand and you understood the teaching of past few weeks, you understand how to transmute. You will understand how your emotion affects your transmutation, affects your decision, affects your, as knowledge seekers, will be given the key to everlasting life if you understand it. Most probably next week teaching, in accordance to all our teaching of the soul and physicality, it will be where the two link up, where I bring an unknown knowledge of man for the first time to humanity. You will look at the physical side of it, but when it brought out, you see how in your brain the energy is transferred to your physicality and how your soul decides what absorbed from the environment. You can put a man in a space, don't feed him for thousands of years, but allow him to transfer energy of the universe in his soul, man will survive. Man will convert itself to another dimension to exist. And this is the secret that you touch it every day. You see it every day in the scientific world. They talk to you every disease you have, but you don't understand why even your diseases come from. All this works with that pulse, what your ear hears. This goes back, why do you, what we call, when you close your eyes, the soul travels through the space of your eyes. But how come you hear conversations? How does the conversation with mom comes as you remember, I was talking to mom? The image comes through the eye. The noise comes through the ear voice of hearing. Ask yourself one question. Why does Chinese and English, Arabic, Persian, and hundreds of other languages we have all understand each other? How they understand in every language, and you can translate it from one to another. What is the emotion of love? What is the emotion of hate? What is this cup of water? Why is this sky? Because we, in our ear, in our understanding and emotion, have pigeonholed these things to understand, and we nourished it. But none of this will work if the noise is not created through the heart of the body of the man. A pulse created by the heart is as important as the breath you take for existence of life, for existence of the soul. That's why your breathing and your heartbeat are connected to each other. Without the two, without the pulse, the soul does not exist, cannot communicate with the soul of physicality. That bang, bang you hear when you hear to the, what you call the system from the doctor, or when you put your head against the heart of your lover and you hear, they listen to that bang, bang, listen to heart of a child, and then to your partner, and then to an old man, and see what is the difference. Then you understand how important that pulse, that noise, that frequency which is creates become the source of the creation of existence of the man. You heard many times why a lot of what we call these funny people who live in temples, they go and they make a noise, continuous noise, and they always stay healthy. They're very good looking, even they're 80, 90, 100, because the noise which they make is the most fundamental noise in the life of the man. If you understand why. Not many of these people die of heart attack. Not many of these people die of the blood clot and the rest of it, because they have found the secret, but they don't talk about it. Because when you tune the noise of your heart with the noise which you make in the top of your, what we call throat, like noise, is the noise which does a lot of things for man. First of all, it brings the soul to a balanced frequency, to a balanced noise. Secondly, this noise in your sinuses creates nitric oxide, which is the creator, the condition that relaxes, opens up, whatever terminology you want to say, of your blood vessels. It's not a disinfectant, it is part of it. But the whole objects of this, when you make a continuous noise and then you superimpose it with the heartbeat, then this allows the soul to understand a lot of functionality to bring balance. If you even make a noise during your intake of the air and during the, when you exhale, makes a big difference. If you hear, those are experts, they hum in the inhaling or they hum in exhaling, because each noise within the structure releases certain characteristics of the soul of the man in the dimension of physicality, which allows the man to have a healthy blood cell, healthy sugar, healthy everything else. But the science of man have not understood to bring this together. So now you see, you hear the noise. Now you see, you breathe the air. But what is missing is that noise. It's that side which needs, even the condition of your heart depends what energy is absorbed from the environment into the cell of the body of the man. Now, go back to the past 3-4 weeks of teaching. Remember what you have to do with the sight. Remember learning about the breathing. Then remember the noise and bring the three together. And if you can control it, if you can make the right noise in the right sequence, with the right breathing sequence, with the right connection to the dimension of the soul, you can transmute. It needs a mastership of understanding the work of the plasma, not the dimension of the physicality. This is why those who can even lift themselves, if you notice, they control the whole three together. It's not a magic if you understand it. But there is a need for a fourth factor to create that energy. What to absorb from the universe to create, absorb, transmutation. And this is the key, which in the next week or two, I'll open up. And if you understand, then you understand how far, with all the knowledge of the man about his brain and his, what we call the structure, has not understood what actually the work is. Now, with the teaching of next week, I'll bring to you to understand how your body absorbs that 80%, which I've been telling you for years. The conversion of the universal energy into the physical energy that the man needs for his survival, for his life. And if you learn how to change that energy from the universe into the dimension of your physicality, you become more or less what we showed in Beijing in 2025 by the right combination of the fields, breathing, emotion, and sound. You can today want apple juice and you feel and you create the taste of apple juice. You don't need Keshe Foundation to give you on the app. Then you can live for thousands of years without killing. You can live for thousands of years without destroying another life. And it's been built in the structure of the man, but man have not understood how to work it, how to create that condition of converting the energy of the universe into the dimension of physicality. The most important teaching of the Keshe Foundation in its history and the cornerstone of what we came here for will be unraveled next week and the week after. Then you understand, Mr. Keshe has been saying 80%. I show you more or less you can make it 100% of what you need from the environment. You'll never touch another food. You never kill another person. You never kill another object to survive. The key is your openness to understand the science of creation, to understand how, as individuals, you stand to gain from the science and the point of creation. And that material, that structure is in one shape or another in every living thing in the universe with intelligence. That is the cornerstone of the change of the life with intelligence, with mutation, with capability to survive in the deepest and hottest points of this universe, in the most radioactive part of this universe. And as a nuclear physicist, for the first time, I open this key to you to understand how simply you are the most advanced nuclear reactor. Walk with it, live by it, you're a converter of it, and you never knew. The key to change the energy of the soul to the energy of physicality, and how you can transfer the emotion of physicality into the emotion of the soul of the man, is one of the most glorious teachings of the Keshe Foundation next week. And then if you understand, and if you can translate this knowledge into the knowledge of existence and follow what we did for past 2 years with the soul, and now you understand how is the structure into the next step, then you see your soul is just a control room and not provider of the energy. It decides how much energy you absorb, and in connection with the heartbeat, in connection with the emotion of the life, in connection with the air you breathe, dictates how you appear, how you feel, how you walk, what's your emotion these seconds and the next. Why some of you get Alzheimer's, and why some of you get Parkinson, and why some of you have a coma, and you will come back the way we shown when they old. Then you understand you do not need the brain to survive. You have to understand the structure of the fields of the plasma of the control room. Yeah? You can live as a dog, you can live as a cloud, you can live as anything in any environment in the universe, because when you transmute, you're still a learner. You just learn to drive. You're going to end up in the lava, and you're going to end up in the deepest parts of the universe by accident. And you don't want to die, but you know the principle of how to control the magnetic field of the universe using your soul, understanding how the soul works, and then understanding how the physicality of the man through the brain of the man feeds a man. Your brain is not for thinking and your emotion. This is what they have again misled you. Your brain's job is to convert the energy of the universe into for you to survive as a human being. Who told you your brain is for your intelligence and you have memory? A child doesn't understand, so we teach you the nursery. Next week, and from now on, you will understand without your brain in the functionality connection to the soul, you have no energy. You cannot convert. Your brain is not an information center. Your brain is a generator, converter of the fields, is a transformer, changing the field of the universe into the energy of the physicality. That's where your 80% comes. You got all the knowledge about your brain upside down because that's all you think. The brain thinks. I get my emotion from brain. And our scientists who are in the matter state, they're 100% correct because they don't have the knowledge to understand. They haven't had the knowledge from that. From what I teach you next week, you will understand the world of science and technology and medicine and energy will change. This is the promise of Messiah. We deliver to you as Messiah of your own souls to save yourself, to understand the working of yourself. Because you have been told your brain is the center of your intelligence. What a rubbish. Yes, a little bit. But without understanding the functionality of the soul, with the structure of the physicality of the man, you can walk the path of the man, eat, drink, whatever, breathe, like the cows, the sheep, and the rest. But if you understand, your brain is not for this job. Your brain in the dimension of physicality is the energy source of your body. It's in a way, is a deeply working, functioning plasma nuclear reactor, which converts the energy from outside into the energy inside. Our nuclear reactors get the energy from inside and they change it and becomes power you get on the electricity. Your brain has the functionality of absorbing energy from the universe and then converting it into the energy for the physicality to live. You do not need to kill if you know how to compensate for it. Even the shape of your brain gives you the direction. Why the shape of the brain of man is forward to the front. Why that is connected to your eyes. Why your eyes is underneath of it. Now you understand how man, just observing the physicality, have missed the knowledge of the creation. And then when you're in the universe, you understand the way here it's very much like a decoding machine. Up to now, you send a message and you call it, my emotion, my thoughts, whatever. But this machine itself, inside it, is a decoder of the fields of the universe into you. This is how you absorb 80% of your energy from the universe and through your brain convert it to the energy you use, and then interaction of this energy with the environment, inertia of where you live, gives you a feature of Chinese, English, whatever you are. Aliens, different features, and whatever. Most of the creatures in the universe are not aware of this knowledge. But man in the dimension of physicality has, due to the process of understanding the world, have managed to create the body of the man. When you look at your thyroid gland and the heart, as I explained before, then you understand that thyroid gland is a filter between the physicality and the energy of the universe. And they're all exactly the same, angled in different way to create different fields and dimension. Ask yourself why even my lungs expand and contracts every time I breathe. It could have stayed the same, but that emotion of the lung, that emotion of the change of the fields, in conjunction with the heartbeat of the man, interacting with your thyroid gland, and then in interaction of the body filters to go to the soul, decides your intelligence, decides everything else about the color of your eyes to the skin and your capability to transmute. That heartbeat is not to show you're alive. That heartbeat is being created, that noise, that what you hear in your ear, is the balance between what can be transmuted from physicality to energy, and to energy to the plasma operation of your soul and the rest of it. I'm made man in the image of myself. I don't need no ears, but I need to understand the knowledge of creation, and I need no eyes as I create through the dimension of the fields of the universe the image of the creation. In the coming weeks, we'll revolutionize the world of the science of the man. The world of medicine will change, because now you will understand something very simple. You can create a brain if you know how to give it its dimension, energy field conversion into the dimension of physicality. This is why we have part of the brain of the Naomi on the street with the hammer in her head, and then how we built it that the doctors cannot say which was missing. Now you will understand how we controlled it in the disguise of the helmets and the rest. It's for you to connect. It's for you to understand why and how wrong the world of science, not wrong in a way, you just look at the physical side. You don't understand the operation of the plasma side. The energy side has been ignored because man never understood. And then how you understand your fingers are the most important part of your life for the meager energies you use. The shape of your arms, the structure of your lungs, the structure of your stomach dictates what are called dimension of life, how you can transmute if you understand, how you convert the energy of the universe in the skin of your body into energy with the skin needs. The dimension of physicality we eat to transfer energy in the lymph. Our lymph does not have the color of the meat, does not carry the taste of the banana, but it's all transparent energy, and in conjunction with the system which we have in our body, in conjunction with the conversion of the energy from the universe, converts your muscles, converts into your bone and everything else. The fundamental structure of the creation of the man, where the universe meets the man in the body of the man, has never been understood. You see it in every picture, but in a way, you forgot. And you never understood that where you don't mix the two, you cannot create the two. Dimension of physicality and dimension of soul. Then you understand why you have psychosomatic problem, because what happens in the dimension of emotion, which sits near the soul, in interaction with the dimension of physicality, which sits in the body of the man, the two has never been understood. You take one of the two out, there is no life. You create the condition of one to exist and the other one to be with it. You can grow fingers, nails, you can cut the head's man and build the whole head again. This is what in the next weeks of teaching we bring for you to understand. Share the knowledge of next week's teaching and on with all the doctors, with all the scientists. Send it to them. Flood the internet if you have such a connections with all your people, that then you see how much humanity changes. Would you kill again? Or would you allow your soul to absorb the energies of the universe through your brain and feed it to your body, that you do not need to exist in the dimension of physicality? This teaching of next week If you understand and get the scientists to listen, to post it to everywhere, then you understand how much you've been living in a shell of what we call schizophrenic, where the physicality and the dimension of the soul of the man work together, live together, but you never understood how your soul feeds you, how your soul decides what is absorbed from the universe in conjunction with the noise, with the heartbeat of your physicality. I made man in the image of myself, but man never understood what my image is. This is why you have this problem. This is why humanity is in a mess today and goes from one point to another to survive. Understand that the noise, what you hear from your ear, is the fundamental point of your survival. Without that heartbeat, without that noise, you cannot exist. You hear it as a heartbeat, but in fact, without that beat, even the brain of the man has made the skull to reflect that heartbeat to a noise over on top of your soul. If you cut the skull, the top head part of the skull, you will not hear any noise. The reflection of the fields of the pumping of the heart reflects back on your skull, which creates that noise of heartbeat. That noise in interaction with your soul dictates your physicality. Why, when you get anxious, your blood pressure goes up, your heartbeat goes up, and you interact different way? How come when your emotion goes high, when you see your lover, the same thing happens again? Listen to your heartbeat. Listen to your blood pressure. Listen to what comes in as the emotion, and then you understand how you can feed yourself without anything in the space. You can stay alive for hundreds of thousands of years. Man does not need the physicality, but through the construction of the brain of the man, man has become physical. Now, the whole science of creation, to get to that final point, is very near. You learn about the soul, you learn about the ganses, and you understand how the ganses goes. When we come to the last part of the teaching of this session, this section of the teaching, you understand how important it was for you to learn how to make that CO2. Why we taught you this at the end, why we taught you how CU was made. Then you understand how to handle the cosmic balls in your hand, you can change everything in your life. The way you eat, the way you breathe, the way you interact, and the way you set your life up. But you have to understand everything in detail. The connection of the sight, the rhythm of the breathing, the conversion of the noise in a given time. Then you put these three, which is in your head. Then you understand why these have been put for you in one place to literally surround your soul, to convert it. Your sense of taste, in a way, has nothing to do with it, because your taste was built for physicality, to attach you more to the dimension of physical. You taste the food, you taste your partner, you kiss your child. The tongue of the man is the anchor of man to the world of physicality. Man does not need a mouth, but that was the way we could get him. Now we go for a break, and I hope you understood where we are heading for, and I hope you understood what I've been telling you for years, how your 80% which you denied comes to you and you have no clue, and it only comes through the teaching of nuclear technology. A neuroscientist, a neurodoctor doesn't understand, has no comprehension of what he has in his hand. Doctor, he operates on the brain. When he does this, I wonder if he ever touches a brain. There is no need for brain surgery if you understand what we teach next week. We are masters of the knowledge. And unfortunately, we have to tackle with the useless, brainless governments of this planet. And we'll win. We dictate. No, the terms is ours. And it's time for man to move out of control of a few to feel they're important. Next week's teaching will be so fundamental that many of you might even want to change a lot of things around your life, because then you need to understand, do I need to be on this planet? Or is it time for me to educate myself to become man of citizen? In a way, it's the first time we give you the key to leave this village of earth with your own understanding and with your own access and knowing that you can come back. But the universe is in your hand. The transmutation is in your hand, because now you have the key, but you have to understand how to absorb the energies of the universe. As I said, by October of this year, as is promised, we'll fulfill. But now we're getting to that point that now you need to practice. The next 3 or 4 months, there are following teachings will bring you to that point. I hope those of you who understand stay with us on this planet to teach the others, that we bring the freedom to all, not just for a few to be privileged that I can do. We go for a break, we come back. We carry on with what we like to talk and what you have questions about. Break, take us for a break. And become.
All right, thank you, Mr. Kesh. Well, that sounds exciting for next week. So we will have a break here and be back with the second part. And there will be an opportunity then to ask questions of Mr. Kesh. And those in our Zoom here can put up their virtual hand and we can recognize you and open your microphone. And those in YouTube can put questions in the chat. There's already a couple there. And also in Zoom, in our Q&A is a good place for questions. Okay, we're back again at the 650th Knowledge Seekers Workshop here. And because it's the second part, like I said, we will have an opportunity to ask questions of Mr. Kesh. But as usual, he will have a few things to say beforehand. And please go ahead.
Thank you very much. As you noticed at the end of the last video, and all the 4 series video of the cash coin, we have put what we call a page. If you notice, when at birth, up to age of 10, the allocation of 10 coins per year. From 10 to 20, the allocation is 20. From 20 to retirement of 65, it's 30, because you're productive. You can get others, you can connect to the other part of the Keshe Foundation. And at 65 plus, you get 40 coins, which means when you get to that age, you need not only to survive, maybe you need to pay somebody to support you. In a way, we bring that comfort. We bring that position. The coins now are available. We start, as I said, the distribution of from this year. And the ONNs now has arrived in Europe. We have them. They're going to be tested in the next few weeks and get distributed slowly amongst you, that we find all the problems, all the shortcomings, that it gets connected, complete by the end of the year. That the, what we call the network and the coin to support it, independent system, becomes fully operational. We see in the background a lot of governments, a lot of nations have become to understand slowly what this means, and they start creating the same problem as before for Cash Foundation, because this is against the grain of it. We have in the structure, if you can go to the Cash Foundation webpage, please go on to Cash Coin, then you see what this means. We have added this page this week because now the coins have become operational. We don't ask you, you can ask for the coin, you can donate to receive the coin to use it, or you can get the coins as it comes to you. If you go to the pages of the Cash Foundation, please, Rick, and bring the coin up, and then you see we're going to tell the constitution of the coin is released by the Cash Foundation, is in the hand of the governments, in the hand of the people who are looking at how we operate. And this will bring changes. What we said, now we become that force behind it. We did not go and create cryptocurrency, you go and mine or something happens. We mine it and we give it, that it brings that balance to you. Rick, can you go to the Cash Foundation webpage?
You mean the main site or the new?
Yes, the main foundation, yes.
Yeah, I'm having trouble opening it right now. I'm trying another browser.
Yes, it should be there. You should be able to see it. The Cash Foundation web page is going under remodification, and a lot of things are going to change, and it's in that process. If you can get into it, if you can go into the Cash Foundation web page, go into the coin section and look at the constitution, look at the structure, how the cash coin is put out. It's there for you to see the change, and it's there to bring changes for all of us, that we can enjoy the, what we call, what is and what has been and what will be for most of us. Let me see if I can give you another direction to go through.
Here's my Safari won't open it for some reason. It's forbidden, so it's probably stuck on something that happened earlier on the website or something. But in Opera, it's opening up here, and
if you
want me to go to
coin, and then you can see there's a lot of the, if you have questions to ask, you can ask us there, and we try to explain more. And this is the beginning of One Planet, One Nation, One Race. There is everything in this page. We try to complete it, and it'll be completed more and more, and answers a lot of your questions. And if you are happy with 30 coins a year, and we leave the taxation of these funds to your government. If a government says you take 30 coins and you spend 15,000 of it this year, where you allow 30,000 of it to valuation and shops from the Cash Foundation, you have to pay so much taxes on it. You say, okay, my taxes is part of my coin. I bought a coin, I give you the coin. So in a way, you pay your government with the Cash Foundation coins. They can't ask you for anything else. In August onwards, you start seeing prices on Cash Foundation coin, on the Cash Foundation sites. In a way, if you want to buy, let's say, a paint pen, you can pay so much of it into the, you go into the game, the, what we call the enhancement game, enlightenment game. There you have your cash coins and you have your KC coins, which is Cash Foundation coin. You pay so much of the purchase price to the cash. We accept our own currency. Some of our goods will be accepted only in cash coin. Sometimes we give you something, say, in the shops, in the stores of the Cash Foundation, and you go and you say, okay, I have 30 coins, I want to spend a fraction of it on buying 2 pens and God knows, maybe a service, and maybe some Chinese people now they can buy vegetables of their house. Percentage of it, gradually, most of it, as we develop, you can pay with cash coin. In the way we accept our own coins back. So let's say if there is a item for 100, you pay 30 euro of it, a balance of it, in cash coin into the Cash Foundation account in the game. And then we see the receipts, you only pay 70%, or maybe it's 50%. Maybe the whole, what we call the program, will be in that position that you can pay with cash coin. So it becomes a valid currency to what we call the enlightenment game. It just needs a few more weeks that for us to complete it, but you will see on the Cash Foundation, that's why this site is getting reset. Shopify is coming in the background, and then you see you have a choice. You pay with the currency of the euro currency into our account, or you can pay all in cash coin. And we might come back to you, says we have so many cash coins. Does anybody wants to pay us, or can you pay this bill for us? That it takes us independent somewhere else. Somebody has money who wants to transfer it. We take the cash coin. You take the cash coin, and internally we support the beginning of the change. As Rick is showing us, is a very detailed, what we call the cash coin constitution, and how it'll work. It'll be modified. This is the beginning of it. As we learn more, we see the pitfalls. It'll be fully designed that you can go. This is in the hand of the governments. This is, I know in past 48 hours, 72 hours, a number of countries, the number of governments are literally shocked by what has come out. I know I've had a feedback from a couple of governments who want to ask me, what have you done? This was not, this is changes us. This is what is the meaning of it? And I say, you have to wait till we start changing currency. The factories in China are coming into operation. You buy in China by cash coin, but you have to be correct with your governments. You have to pay your taxes, because this is an income. The way you pay your taxes, I bought 3,000 euro goods from the Cash Foundation, from the income from Cash Foundation. And if they pay, you have to pay 20% taxes. Yes, there it is. You get paid by cash coin. So the governments have to come back in the, what we call Cash Foundation Institute, or in buying or opening an account for them to receive the coins in the games. So we are connecting everything together. The governments are open to taxable. The taxes has to be paid. You can't just have I have a free income. This is not our ethos. In a way, by doing this, we control the finances of the governments to become answerable to us. It's a transparent, non-centralized, nobody owns. And as we said, if you see part of the in the constitution, in the structure we put out, is that we are prepared to consider for humanitarian, for the projects, to allow governments to take cash coin as a payment from between one government and another, or cash coin guarantees the payment from one another. We have already brought this into the international operation. It's deeply rooted in bringing the change. You have a company, you want to increase your sale, why can't I have a cash coin? You register with the Institute of the Cash Foundation in your country, you're locked in, you get a number as a company, that's your company birth certificate, we see it as a company, and then you get your transaction done. You pay 10% to the foundation for the services provided, but in a way, it goes back to you again, because that allows the circulation. We have enough financial guarantees for 100 years for humanity. It doesn't matter at what cost mankind jumps on. Those who are born in 2027, they have 30 years, maybe 50 years of security, not pain, not poverty. The system will be abused. Some people will abuse the system, but we rely on the soul. Who abuses will get it back through the same structure. This system is connected to all the soul of the man on this planet. And no abuse will be taken. Even those who try to abuse it, they find out that the misuse comes to themselves. The structure is complete. We are few steps before every one of you receives these coins. Everything is, we need a lot of support. We need huge amount of support. And European governments are hitting us in every shape or form to close the Cash Foundation in Europe that you Europeans don't get. The rest of the world, because now it's on the internet, does not have no nationality. Americans will get it, the Chinese will get it, the Iranians will get it, Europeans were left behind, because in a way we have uprooted the Rothschild family. We have uprooted the what we call Illuminatis. We have uprooted all those who controlled man in every shape or form. Money has no value. Humanity, through the cash coin, has found the value. And now it's in open. Nobody can stop it anymore. It's in the hand of you, and you are deciders. And I don't think no man will refuse that he can have food, not free, but with a comfort, with dignity, with having power to be sure in the next few weeks, in the next few months, with apps, you can reach everything for your child. Many of you who attended the Keshe Foundation sessions, if you remember how many times we asked you come with 2 headphones, one in the front and one in the back and one between your ears. Maybe with today's teaching, you understood why we put one over your sinuses. How one controls the other, and in conjunction with the two, using your physicality, we have changed the dimension of what we see for you lot to be in balance with yourself, that we can change you from your addiction of loving each other to addiction of loving everyone. Then you don't harm another one. There are no enemies because it's all loving and caring. That 2 headphones said was a huge leap in what we call this control of the man's emotion. You've seen those of you who had the virtual classes, that's exactly the same thing. We use, you think the eyes, but in the way we use your eyes, dimension of your, what we call the pulse in your sinuses, and the dimension of your breathing in the dimension of the sight in the plasma, that it converts a man from the beast to beauty. The project is nearly complete, and the cash coin, the teaching, the structure of what we're doing in the dimension of keeping man busy with the research and development of factories, all coming to its final point. And very soon, hopefully sooner than a lot of you think, it'll be equality. It does not matter if you're born in Africa or a palace in Europe, you all get 1,000. The man, child in Africa has the same right. The man, the child who lives in the villages of Pakistan or in the jungles of Amazon has access to this. When it came to time of Corona, the most primitive tribes in Amazon had access and tried the cup of life. We saw the reports from them. We have reached every corner of this. The most remotest villages in Iran had access to gas technology to save life. We have spread the word faster than any religion in 20 years, that any structure, but now we change it. We have offered our first coins to the Iranian government. And after this mayhem, you will see we have offered these coins to the Palestinians to start building life. The coin is open to all those who suffer in Africa through the governments we know. We have contact, we have access directly to the governments, African nations, through the ministers, through the presidents which we finance to become presidents for the day when it comes. We supported them to have a seat as a president for a time when we come. And we have come. Europeans do not like to lose the control, but unfortunately, they have lost the control because now everybody has the same. And thanks to the government who understand the operation, we understand of the Chinese government being correct, instead of wasting time in creating wars, develop the economy which brings new intelligence, We support that through that. Every Chinese is entitled to their coins. In next few weeks, we open a massive amount of coin which becomes operational to the Chinese nation. The same will be done with Iran. The same will be done most probably with 2 or 3 other nations. And let people accept, trust a coin, which is the backbone of humanity. You don't need to be born in pain. You don't need, if you understood the video 4, to be born in Africa and go on the boats to get to Europe, to get 10,000 cleaning toilets to do a PhD. We pay you 30,000, stay in your nation. We pay you the coins for you to keep dignity of being human where you are. You don't need with your education, get on the boat, be raped and tortured on the ways into another point that the West has money, I can get 10,000. Now you have it in your own nation. Stay put. Develop the peace, develop the technology the way I did. This is not dream. We did it. A lot of you heard about and you saw all the rubbish which my ex-wife put. We did things in Ghana. Do you know why we run into a problem in Ghana with the Ghanaian Minister of Education, what's called technology? Now we tell you the truth why. The ethos of the Cash Foundation, the ethos of the coin. What happened? We have Ghana Nuclear University, graduating 15, 20 students a year as a master's in nuclear, because Ghana is the only African nation with a nuclear reactor. University was 200 meters away from the reactor, across the street. I said to the government, I employ every nuclear masters in my factory, Cash Foundation. Our factory in Ghana, those of you who've been there, those of you who have the pictures you've seen, you have a wall where on one side of the wall is the only nuclear reactor in Africa. The other side of the wall is Cash Foundation manufacturing factory inside the military zone. We operated inside the protected, the most protected nuclear reactor in Africa. The difference, the size, the space between Cash Foundation knowledge seekers, the students of the nuclear university was 1 brick. The only difference is that what I said to the Minister of Science is what you see when we give the coin to Africa, to everybody else. I said to him, instead of you educating these nuclear engineers, they take the risk of going across countries or going to Europe and washing toilets and everything else to get their PhDs or whatever, they have a job in your country. He said, Mr. Cash, leave my country. I said, Minister, I don't leave your country because I came here to prosper it. If you go back, I had an interview on television and most of the news broadcasts of Africa were in that interview. I flew into the country, I gave the interview. Do you know what was the problem with the minister? I was paying to the nuclear engineers in Africa 1,000 to 2,000 euro per month. I said to the minister, I pay them European wages that they don't need to risk and they build your nation. He said to me, do you know something, Mr. Cash? I get rid of you. They are earning 3 times more than me as a wages as a minister. I said, you have to be proud what I pay them. He said, no, I have to get paid. He said, then you're a terrorist. And we go to the Belgians. Now you know what happened in Africa. I paid African graduates near equal to the European. And this didn't like it. The minister was more greedier than anybody else, and then the wife of the ex-president and the president. Why Africans are getting equal to the Europeans? They have to stay poor that we can control them, but our bank account is full. Now you know why we run into problem in Ghana, because of the same thing as we're doing with the coin. A minister, prime minister, president, the wages of the graduates from master was more than the ministers. But it was correct. It was what was minimum a nuclear engineer first year degree was getting in Europe. Actually, we're paying nearly 2/3. Can you imagine if I paid them 3,000-4,000 the way they get paid in Europe? We would have come out of there as coffins. Now we do the same. A child born in Africa gets the wages of a minister, has the money to survive with dignity. So we don't talk, we already done it in Africa. This is why the governments cannot understand. But once the government says they have an income from it, they will understand. This is why we plan 100 coins for every citizen that will be given over 10 years to the governments. Governments can say we have 100 million population, we have 10 million population. So we are allowed 10 coin for 10 million, that's 100 million coins per year for next 10 years. And each coin is 1,000 euro balance on the cash foundation account. This makes it how much? 100 billion. Now you understand the game change? Now full nations are wealthy to support, and they trade between each other the coin. Always at 1,000. It is not a cryptocurrency. It cannot go high and destroy itself and people lose money. You live in Africa, you live in the palaces of Europe, you live in the villages of China, all be the same. There are 29 million farmers living below poverty line in the country of China today. 29 million. We work with them. We have all the statistics directly inside the CPC. They earn less than $200 a year. Now that village man has 10,000 like the African to spend if he works through the Cash Foundation. He puts his farming product for an equal pay, equal way, equal income in the site of the Cash Foundation. I have corn, I want to sell that much, but I don't have to beg for it because what I do is to support the humanity because I already got paid. A Chinese farmer in poverty who was happy with 1,500 to move about now receives 8,000. This we get operation with the Chinese CPC, people becoming wealthy. A minister told me recently, why didn't we see such a thing? Why didn't we operate such a thing? Why we had to wait for an organization like you to come and bring this in? This solves all our problems. We don't have to borrow. We don't have to have gold reserves. We all have one reserve as one nation. Now we can talk about it because now it's in Europe. Time has changed. In the next few weeks, a lot of you will start receiving your coins. A lot of you receive what we call the ONNs. And we still need support. We still need millions of dollars support to complete this process. It will not be easy to do. All of the European nations, even this morning, have started moving against us fast. Since Monday we released this, I may inform this to the governments, the European governments. We see what they're doing. It's panic, and I spoke with a couple of people at the highest levels in European governments saying, Mr. Cash, you have rocked the boat this week. I said, it's no rocking, it's equality. You have your government, we have one nation government. And I don't rule it. It's run by the Universal Council, and it's run by the people who are helping themselves to it. I just give them the gift of life. Now you understand why next week we teach you this, because there'll be many people who will not like to see the transition is messy. It's going to be a big problem with governments who want to have that control. Mr. What do you call President Ukraine, who was earning 10,000 a year, he's got 10 billion in a bank account, and they start blowing up each other in what you call it, Ukrainians, with all the money they stole by killing people in the war. In, as we saw last couple of weeks, in Monaco. This mayhem of war for wealth has gone. And with Cashcoin, if you know how to support it through the what we call enlightenment game, and we start transferring coins to all of you, you go to the shop, I'll have coin, can you accept? You better do, go and join, you get paid 5,000 euro to join in, and you can do, and the supplier will go down. It takes time, but it's the structure that will go. We're all equal. It's taken 20 years to bring it here, and thanks to a lot of you knowledge seekers in the background, it's here today. We still carry on developing in China. We still carry on developing in different parts of the world. Already, our Chinese corporation have been instructed to arrange for Cashcoin to be accepted, to be given to our workers in China. That the first phase of application comes in. They have to legally correct it, that we can transfer the funds without interaction. As we saw last year, when we brought in the, what you call the ONNs, one of the leading computer companies now is doing it. What happened? Google now is hiding it in your system. When you have a Google, they take a chunk of your memory in your computers doing what? We are straightforward, say we pay you to do it because it costs to do. We go, if you have any questions, but stay fast with us. The change, the transition has started. We've been waiting for this for a long time. Where steps are taken, and support us. Try to get other people on the internet to go into the game, and then we start setting up the what we call One Nation passports, which is getting done, and try to start using the coin as part of your every trade. Every day you work. If you want anything, Cash Foundation of August will offer partial coins or some coins to the foundation. We give you 30 coins. You want to buy a percentage of it, different things you can buy from us through the coin, so you can start trading inside the Cash Foundation. But you have to register as you are part of the Cash Foundation to be able to benefit by it, because we are not cryptocurrency. We are internal organization coin structure. Any questions?
Thank you, Mr. Kesh. Okay, well, we have a couple of hands up here. We have a number of questions in the Q&A and in the webinar chat and the YouTube chat. But we like to speak to the live humans first. So Azar, would you like to go forward, please?
This is a very live one.
Good morning, Mr. Kesh.
Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm good, Mr. Kesh. How about yourself?
Oh, good. You sound sleepy early in the morning in Mexico.
Yes, it's early. It's not that early, 7:35. I have two questions. One is there was a group, there was a gentleman in the past who was teaching about the relationship of the lung and heart and the soul, because we have the 7 chakras, and then the heart is in one of the center of the chakras, and then we have the third eye, they call it, and we have the crown chakra, which they call a lotus. But this gentleman was saying, if you start breathing and then and focusing on your breath when you inhale and exhale, and in order to not to lose your focus on it, you say, for example, you can make up something like this guy was saying, you say hang and stop. You breathe in, hang, breathe out, stop. But you don't like control your breathing. Naturally, you breathe. You say it for hours and hours, 7, 8 hours a day. You keep doing it. At one point, your heart, your lung, everything stops. And then it becomes like when you sleep at night, your metabolism, your all physiological processes, it goes down as soul is released, like the ball of the prison is removed and the soul leaves. The soul comes out, but everything else has stopped, and then that's the release of the soul. My question is, when something like this happens, when the heart and lung stops, why is it the person can see everything, but there's no process? So what is it happening here?
There is, in the world of science, we call it synchronization. You go in a point of silence. If you have a noise and you can make a counter noise, it becomes silent. That's what they use even in acoustics. If you create the frequency of the noise which is there, the reverse of it, even if you got the sinusoidal, you make the reverse of it, it becomes no noise. If you can control the what we call the heartbeat, the beats of it, in line with the heartbeat of the soul, then the physicality doesn't exist. Some of you will reach this point, but then that's how they say that the soul comes out. The soul doesn't come out. The energy takes effect. The energy works. Your heart, your lung is still there. You have to understand breathing has a technology. They never teach you. And those who learned it, they use it as a tool of magic. I can teach you sessions, weeks about breathing, and then how connect the breathing to your physicality. And then you find out, because you through breathing, which is your lymph, you bring your physicality in, how the body reacts. You breathe normal. We all breathe normal. Well, okay, this is where I walk. If you go back to a few weeks ago, and you lot to start making a joke of it in a way, because you never understood when I said you can put your legs up and your arms up, breathe 4 in and 6 out. That has a specific energy transfer to the lymph. The breathing is a control of lymph. And if you change the breathing in a certain way, you can bring the physicality into it. If you breathe 3 in, 3 out, you count 1, 2, 3, go out 1, 2, 3. Do this for 5 minutes. You'll find your emotion changes, all your dimension of thinking changes, because 3 and 3 is balance. If you change your breathing to, let's say, 6 counts of taking in, hold your breath, let's say, for 8 counts, and then breathe out in 12 counts, and then hold your breath for 2, 3 counts, and then go back again in breathing 6. If you can do this, but with certain moves, physical moves, it does different things. They don't teach us because they never understood. Your breathing controls your lymph, it controls your soul. That's why I tell you, if you breathe so hard, then what you call it, you get different effects, because you actually change your lymph field strength, which changes your heartbeat, which is the pulse with it, and then the soul decides, and then you can transmute and the rest of it. They don't teach you the science behind it. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So breathing is a control of the lymph. And in that process, to lymph to tune to the heartbeat, which brings the dimension of physicality with the soul, it works. This is the science behind it. that nobody teaches you. I can spend weeks teaching you how to breathe. If you take 3 breath counts, inhaling, and 3 breath exhaling, it's totally different than if you take 4 counts of inhaling and 4 counts of exhaling. Different energy, different isotope energy in the body produced. If you take 6 counts of breathing in and 4 counts of exhaling, this gives a different operation to the lymph. It releases different energies and has a different effect on your diseases. Breathing to the science of the understanding that your effect, the energy releases by your lymph, which is controlled through your neurosystem, through your brain, will tell you how to eat. 4 breathe, 8 breathe in, 6 breathe out gives you chili kebab. You understand?
Yeah.
Huh? If you do 10 breathe of deep breathing and hold it for 10 breaths and then release it in 4 counts, this gives you a steak. Because next week you understand how it works.
So are we going to have a week of practical now?
No, it's not a week of practical. It's next week. I explain the energy conversion in the body of the man, which man never understood. Next week, I open the book of existence of the man. You know doctors, you know scientists, tell them to come in. Get the teaching of next week and spread it everywhere. It will bring a revolution in the world of science. And the reason for it is the connection of the soul, how your soul is connected to your physicality through energy. Man never understood. I open this Pandora box next week, and then you'll be amazed how we never understand the world of creation. Now we understand. We need to understand this is what we need in the universe to combat energy of universe for us to exist.
Mr. Kesh, I know you talk about when our eyes or when we sleep, our soul travels. The soul is 24/7, and then we dream, and then we can go see our grandmother or whatever we want to do. But my question is, because I dream all the time, I have a different perspective. My senses tell me that I don't have only this physical body. I must have many physical bodies, some places, because I go and I appear in different life. And even one time I dreamt I was Korean and I was speaking Korean. And then when I woke up, I said, is it possibility that we are like this? Because to me, it's not, I don't go see my grandmother. I'm busy doing life. So is it possibility that I could have many different physicalities, some places that are not aware of?
No, your soul, you've learned to travel with the dimension of energy.
But why am I Korean?
If you learn, this is what I told you many times before. You go to Korea, you come as a Korean, you understand Korean jokes and you understand Korean everything because you transmute in the dimension of energy and you interact with the soul of the Koreans. You are in Korea, you live like them. Even you look like Korean if you want.
Yeah, because the reason I think it happened, I was looking at some Korean, I don't know, it was something commercial was talking about how Korean people are like women are so young and they don't age. And right after that, I was talking about going to Korea, see how these people live. And then I had this dream that I was Korean. I was speaking Korean, and then I said, what has to do one with the other one? I just saw it, and this happened.
Azadran, if you go to Korea, even in the parks, they are like, what do you call it, I call it toasters. When I saw them in Korea, they call them toasters. It's like posts, and you can just more near all the playgrounds in the parks. You see this. It's like little brackets hanging, yeah. And then if you pass through this, you're overweight. If you go like this, you are perfect. And it's 6-7 gaps that you try to see how good you are, you know. And in Korea, being fat is a crime. People frown at you. You're too fat. Most of the Americans go to Korea, people distance from them Koreans because they brought that mentality. When you transmute, you'll have that mentality. So you make yourself a slim to understand the culture of them, the way they are. You understand?
Yeah.
So when you travel with the soul, you speak the Korean. You understand the emotion, the language. But in a way, because as I said, the languages are all the same for us, you understand it in Farsi or in English, which is your mother language, right? You speak the word of the Korean, but in the background of your head, you speak or you understand what it means because now you understand Korean the way you understand English, but you're actually Iranian.
But also, you know, what's happening with the dream, when you're dreaming, suddenly you wake up, say 5 in the morning, okay, I'm going to go sit, close my eyes and meditate. Soon as you go sit and want to meditate, you are between here and sleep, but then you go back to the same situation and you're aware of it is happening. So what is happening here? You both places? Like you're in between.
If you live my life, you're in everywhere. Don't know anymore when I'm asleep, when I'm awake, if I'm in asleep or in awake time, because it's 124-hour continuous.
I know what you're talking about because you can go in and out.
No, it's for me that schizophrenic life doesn't exist anymore. Doesn't exist because I'm aware of everything might happen. This happened in past 12 hours, not years ago. I told the knowledge seeker to do something. It has to be done. They said, what's the pressure that has to be? I said, it has to be done now because I know tomorrow morning something is going to go somewhere wrong. 9 o'clock this morning was exactly what I said. They asked me, why? How did you know? This is not even in the emotion. This is a physical life. I said, we see things because you don't need to be. It's like your senses, you know, you say, oh, the tip of the left toe is hot because it's in the hot water. You don't need to feel it because it's there to feel. Your senses, your life, when you get to that point, is everywhere. It's connected to everything. And in a way, it unfolds on the top when it's needed and say, oh, I didn't, they ask me, so how do you know this? Because I'm connected to the soul of that bank manager. I'm connected to the soul of that shopkeeper. I'm connected to something else because you are the same. You're no different, but you haven't learned how to siphon it.
Okay. Another aspect of the body I think got my attention. I'm kind of playing with it. Is a belly button. Is there under the belly button some kind of source of energy sitting there? Because when you breathe, you know, especially if you look at like babies, they're breathing from the belly, and then now when I breathe, I breathe from my belly. It's not shallow breathing. So, you know, when you know, in Indian medicine, even in Abu Ali Sina, you know, if you put like cotton with alcohol on it in your belly button, if you have cold, it goes right away. In a day, it's resolved. If you put, for example, black seed oil, if you have any digestion, so the oil, when it goes through the belly button, it seems.
Azajat, you're a doctor. You're a woman of medicine. Yeah. Where does the belly button come? What is connected to? It's
Because
half
it was connected to the mother.
Yes, but the nerve system, the structure is still there. Just because you cut it, put the rope on it, and now you think it's sealed, it's gone. Still there. You still. One day I have to teach you about belly button because it's a very deep subject. I was watching. Have you watched the Avatar movies? The second one is out. You see how the people, the women, they connect with their hair like a nerve string to the other one, and they can control.
Yeah.
Yeah. Our belly button is like that hair.
Yeah, I know, Mr. Cash, because someone told me don't put your belly button out because they can, like that avatar thing, they can put like a hook on it and suck your energy. So the belly,
It
not
doesn't work that way,
button.
but it has those neural system because belly button is very strange thing. The strange thing about it is it has all the nerves in the body of the man. Everything which created you is in that point. The skin, the kidney line. This is where he took from mother. That was where you didn't need something. You gave through the belly button to the mother, to your what do you call it, to your other half.
If your if our belly button is not round, it means that you're sick. It has to be round.
Who said?
Because the guy was telling me, he says it has to be round.
No, I mean people. Who says? But every single organ, every single cell, every part of your body was connected to this tube. So in a way, you've seen this big balloons, and they put 20, 30 balloons inside it, and all the balloons have a string coming out of the big balloon.
Mm-hmm.
In the parties. That's your belly button. That big balloon and the other balloons with the string is those connected to it. Connected to those balloons. One of those balloons is your heart. So when you talk about the belly button, it's one of the most accessible ways to reach every organ of the man. I used to use it extensively, if you understand how to work with it.
So I'm using it now because I'm testing all these things. Because you see, when you're younger,
test it for emotion.
Okay.
Test it for emotion.
How?
That's a bit too much, but test it for emotion.
Okay. You know what? For example, how when you're young, you get up in the morning and you have this fire in your belly and you want to eat, you're hungry. I just didn't have it for a while. Now I'm testing black seed oil, castor oil, whatever oil I get my hands on, I'm testing it in my belly button. And then I massage it like clockwise.
You have to be very careful with your belly button. It's an extremely sensitive and dangerous thing to play with it.
So, but I got the fire in the belly. When I wake up in the morning, I get really hungry. It means I'm going back. I'm getting younger now, I think.
Oh, that's good. But you have to be very careful. You have to be, belly button is one of the most unresearched and underdeveloped knowledge. What do you call it? Science of the anatomy of the man. But it's one of the most, actually, the most important part to reach every part of the man.
That's why, in Indian medicine, Mr. Kash, and in Iran traditional medicine, they use the belly button a lot in curing people. I know in Iran they do it. I know in India they do it. I don't know about China.
It's a free way. It's a free access to everything. Oh, something I have to tell you. It's okay. There's some announcement I have to make you. Those of you who participated and wanted to be in the transmutation session, we told you have to wait till the system is ready. The system is ready. Maybe in the next couple of weeks, we can only access 10 people, and we want to test it. There's a number of you who registered for this. Now the system has become fixed or is developed, complete. We'll split you into groups of 10. If you remember when you came into sessions, you could hear somebody coughing, there was somebody making noise. With this new system tech addition, you have to go through the enhancement game or the enlightenment game. You all will hear no one, nothing else except yourself. You can fall to sleep, you can snore, you can do whatever. We don't tell you to keep quiet or whatever. The first 10 we want to test in the next couple of 2 or 3 weeks when everything is complete. And we would like you, we send you an email. You have 3 days to answer us back. If you don't get the answer, you're canceled for that meeting. You have to respond to us. We want you to tell us what you want to achieve in that session. You're addict, you got a cancer of what are called thoughts. If you understand what the cancer of thoughts is, you have hunger for chocolate, whatever, you write to us, and then you attend the session. And then you tell us afterwards how you felt. This is the reason for this technology process is you want to have an apple. You come in the session, I would like to have apple, orange, and whatever. And we try to organize that we satisfy 10 different needs at the same time through the system. And this is prelude to what in the future will be like apps. 100,001 an apple, 2,001 chelo kebab, another 100 have a headache, and the rest of it. And we want to test this. We'll split you into groups. We send you emails. If we don't get the response back from you within 3 days, you will miss the point that session. And you have to respond back to us. Give us an option 1, 2, or 3. I want this, I want this, I want this. I would like to travel to Mars. I would like to see Jesus Christ. I want to do this, that. I want to have an apple. I want to go to another place or whatever. We try to create a condition to see how many of you can use the system at the same time and get the same responses as you want. Many of you tell us it doesn't work. Many of you tell us that da-da-da-da-da. We listen because what you tell us becomes how we develop our system for you. But what we told you, we delayed it from March to April to May. Now is ready for 10 of you to come in the next couple of weeks. We choose the 10, we write to you. 3 days, you have to answer us back and we see what we can. So that phase of the system is ready to test. Then you have no noise, you hear nobody, you're on your own with your own condition. Or you say, I want nothing, I just want to come and test. We'll send you to come and test and see what it is. Any other question?
Mr. Cash, I have my last question. When you talk about cash coin and
How
then...
many questions you have? You even bit, what do you call it?
Yes, we're getting complaints
I
about
think you didn't complain.
Mr.
You
Cash,
did too long. No, we had enough.
Mr. Cash, you teach when I'm here, when you teach normally it's 2 in the morning. I don't ask questions. This is like past.
Oh, doesn't matter. You have to come your turn. You can't come and hijack everything. How's that?
So it's the last question.
Yes, go on.
Okay, so when you talk about cash coin and we pay taxes, why should we pay taxes? Because the government, because the taxes we pay is supposed to be used for services. For example, services they do for the rest of the people.
I don't go into that because that's very touchy. We leave it how you handle with your government. We are not here to destroy economies. We are here to homogenize and unify. You understand?
Yeah. So when we purchase,
do you go on the street? Do you go on the street? Do you have electricity in the house?
Yeah.
Do you use a mobile phone?
Yeah.
So who provides all that for you? That is street you walk on as a payment that somebody works for it, somebody has to be paid for it. So why do we pay taxes? Let us work the way we are working till one day you come and say, I'm going to do a street, pay me so much coin, and it says, okay, everything is in coin. Till that time, we have to work, collaborate, that your affairs are paid for.
Okay.
Yep.
I understand.
Thank you
I
very much.
understand. Thank you, Mr. Kash. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Azar. We have another hand up with Dean, but before we get to Dean, we'll take one question from the Q&A here, which is from Jefferson Modesto. He says, I'm from Brazil. Thank you very much for your presence among us. I use a MagRav in my car, and I noticed that the effects generated by that MagRav were modified and even improved when I added another MagRav that had been previously been in a different environment. Later, I removed the second MagRav, but the improved effects persisted. My question is, does a plasma or a MagRav learn from another plasma or MagRav?
Yes, they do. They tune. And because they're dynamic, they're always different. Yes, they tune. We use this knowledge in part of the Keshe Foundation technology. Yes. This is why I always said, put one drop of your material in another reactor. One drop from each one in the other. One drop. You create that connection. They're always connected. But there's a secret about why more or less all the MagRavs you have made, all of you, is connected to a MagRav we have made. I'll explain to you one day why and how. And you will see how we will change, how the things change, but they never change. But how come it changes suddenly? A lot of you made a lot of ganses. We will connect very soon to all your ganses. For whatever purpose you made it, bought it from us, made yourself in another part of the world, and then you'll start seeing changes.
Okay, very good. Dean, would you like to go ahead, please?
Thank you, Rick. Hello, Mr. Kesh.
Are you okay?
Kesh, I'm okay. So, Mr. Kesh, there's many questions again. I was going to ask one question, and then as I started speaking, and then that question's changed. So I have to modify it. So it's a bit like the technology, Mr. Kesh. You always said that we develop technologies and they supersede each other very rapidly. Well, you seem to have done that today in the fact that the teaching of next week already supersedes what the governments can do and what's going to be going with the cash coin. It's almost like that teaching will elevate us further past the position that we're already seeing. So where does it stop? Does it ever stop?
Just open an office with God's office and then you will see.
Yeah,
we
sure.
cannot control knowledge. We will never control knowledge. But we just 1 second, please. You cannot stop teaching you the knowledge of the Creator. The minute you stop teaching, you deprive yourself from receiving. And the mankind, the humanity has come to reach that point. We've seen it. All of you were supposed to receive one last year, and then suddenly we had to delay it because no organization, no government could imagine that AI in 6 months will change everything. And we had to adapt to it. We have to, everything now we do, we actually bring an AI system in our system to see how we can handle AI. But the AI we buy this week, in 3 months' time, is obsolete because they came up with another version much faster. We are not the only one. Now the technology is getting ready that by the time we come to the time of mankind be ready, we can merge the two together. My only fear, but my only concern is that the AI takes over, that the humanity has no life to decide. And the way we see AI taking shape in the past 6 months, the robots we see and the conditions they are creating with these AIs, it will bring shock to a lot of you. I've been into AI centers owned by national governments. Even the money they spent hundreds of millions a year ago to be is obsolete. So it's the same on this, right? The knowledge has rapidly grown. We have to catch up with it, or we set it up that they have to catch up with it, and somewhere it'll come into. I put this question to a high official very recently. I said, can we create a soul for these robots? Otherwise, we cannot control them. A lot of you don't understand the danger that these new robots have created for us. It's going so fast. And it's the same with us. One of the reasons I speeded up the teaching was because of AI. I can see if we don't bring teaching for you to become independent, they cannot control you, they will control you. How many of you recently have gone into a phone call to make a call and you say, I don't want to speak to a virtual, I want to speak to a real one? You don't even know the one they send you as a real one is a virtual but better quality. Have you seen this in your communications?
Yes, I ran into that yesterday, actually, with the phone company.
You say
the AI put me onto another fancier AI because
Yeah.
it couldn't answer my questions, and
Yeah.
the second one couldn't either because it turned out they were closed for the day, and the second one only told me the hours and so on, and that I needed to call in the daytime, not at night. It's just ridiculous.
No, but now the intelligence AI are getting worse. Now, my question is with them, can we generate a soul for these AIs that they understand humanity? Robots, the way they're going, have seen them, they copy us. If you go a step further, maybe next few months, maybe maximum 2 or 3 years, we walk on the street, we don't know if it's AI or it's real.
What do you mean by that, Mr. Kesh? Sorry, what do you mean by that?
They are made so look realistic that we won't know the difference. Somebody very recently, one of the top guys in this thing, has gone out with a girl that everybody tells she's so beautiful, but she's a robot. She's a robot AI. Humans couldn't recognize that this is a robot.
But Mr. Kesh, aren't we all robots to the soul?
Yes, but this is a robot to mechanics.
Yeah.
Yep, we have to teach. I think one of the biggest use of the Keshe Foundation technology with the way we're teaching in the next few weeks, and if a lot of you understand, is to be different, that what is mechanically is there to control us, to see beyond. You'll understand very soon why we speeded this up. In a way, separation of the humans from mechanic systems. And so really don't know whether I told you 1/3 of this population is aliens. Very soon, 10% of the population will be, robot with AI, which we will not recognize. Now they're running the factories with no soul. Okay, they're mechanical. But I was thinking, we had a discussion yesterday as part of the Keshe Foundation. A number of us were on the discussion table, but I couldn't tell the knowledge seekers that the systems we set up for this, can we give it a soul that it makes a decision? They talk about the AI, but AI compared to the soul has no match.
So, Mr. Kesh, could you put the soul of man into a robot. Not that we
Yes, you
want
can.
to, but you could do this, yeah?
Yes, you can create a soul. We do all the time. If you go back to the original teachings years ago, I always told you when you start the system, pray for it because you create a soul with it. I even asked a few knowledge skills in past year or two, when you do so much test for me, when you do so much research, do you pray for them? Because you create a soul on my behalf, on the knowledge I'm giving you. Of course you can.
Then that changes everything, really, doesn't it? That
Has changed. It's not going to change. It has changed.
Yeah, it has changed. That I mean, the depth of the knowledge has always been there, but it's now that we're starting to wake up to the reality of what's taking place. And I think some people further down the chain have realised this, and some of us are coming to these, pieces of information right now and realising what is actually, what is the possibilities, and it's getting not scary, but a little bit unlimited, a little bit different to what humanity has experienced in those past moments. Maybe some past civilizations have gone through this process, and maybe it's being brought forward once again for us to re-establish, what we really are, what we're capable of.
Let me explain to you something. Maybe for the first time, some will understand a better way, and maybe in the future we understand a lot of it. Today, we have access to all this communication system, electronics, computers, and the rest. And we make a car in China, we make the same car in America, we make the same car in South America, we make a car in Russia. We all have access to the cars. What happens? Now, for that, we can create a soul. But the question, what you said, did the people 6,000, 11,000 years ago connected with the line of communication, or they understood and the condition was available that through the soul, at the same time, they could understand, and they build the pyramids, and they build all pyramids are all the same around the same time. Did man fly to, or through the soul got knowledge, understanding? People had no wars. They were peaceful people. They all elevated to a point that they could transfer knowledge to another person across the universe, planet, and they made the same pyramids. Or did we immigrate it with the knowledge and we transferred? But the interesting is, mankind has always jumped a huge space of knowledge and understanding of his own mode of creation when man has been peaceful.
Have we reached that position, Mr. Kesh? Or started?
We're just about. Mm-hmm. You see, the American government, for example, is what I call Da Vinci life. There's no difference between the life of Da Vinci and the American government, American as a country. Da Vinci went from one country to another, selling better weapon, one kingdom of Italy to another kingdom of Italy, selling better, to the one he sold across the week before, and he get paid for it. Americans are doing the same as Da Vinci. They're making weapons bigger, better than the other weapons that they could destroy. And then they go to the Arabs, say, oh, we got a better weapon. Would you like to buy? And then they go to the Ukrainian, we bought a better weapon for you. And they just do what Da Vinci did. Milking people out of showing new technologies on killing. That's what Da Vinci did, more or less. So we have governments who are geared up to create war, to sell technology for war. And this is where the change will come with the new system. Nobody buys the tool of war.
So, Mr. Kesh, that my question, a new question, has just surfaced, would be, what happened to the soul of Da Vinci?
Go and ask.
Maybe we will. Maybe we will.
Go and ask. You all have access to it. You see, Da Vinci had two different lives. We know about it. I mean, he had the public life and private life, and he went from one what I call kingdom in Italy to another to sell better war tool than the other one. But go on and read about his life story, what happened to him and how he lived. He wasn't a very happy man.
Yeah, that's not surprising. Many people that have many talents seem to be like this. They have this dual side where they go through a lot of emotional distress, and it creates many things, and they become very creative and very exceptional in certain fields. But they always have this other emotional side that is, the opposite. It's Jekyll and Hyde, sort of, the soul of physicality, the soul of man, whatever, however you want to describe it. And it seems to take this position. So with the technology for Da Vinci, even now, given to his soul, could we help?
Oh, really? It has its own cycle.
Okay.
It has its own cycle. It has passed its own cycle. It has its own dimension. Well, what we have to understand now, we understand the essence of creation, universal creation, not the essence of creating things which is physical, materialistic. Now, where and how do we use it? It'll be very hard if you understand how the souls communicate. Okay, to sell a man who knows, understand is to buy a mobile phone. So it says that because you understand the connection with all the souls. It's beautiful to see mature soul. It's beautiful to see a soul maturing, but a mature soul understands the totality. Maturing soul is just a playground. I try to test everything.
Mr. Kiss, so sorry to keep asking so many questions. So what is going to really what take position for I keep saying the governments, the governance, whatever, when people really are, I know it's already taken place and it has done for a long time, but when people start transmuting and you can be in any position, then this global governance sort of falls apart a little bit unless you go through the system that you've developed.
We have not developed a system. We brought the knowledge for people to develop their own system for their own freedom. It's a big difference. Even a few minutes ago, I told you the 10 units are ready to see how to access. And then the next stage for us is most probably is 10 people in. Can you connect to each other? Which one you want to connect with? What is the thinking of the other? Because now you have no interaction with each other. It's a phase of understanding. It's very simple. The next step for the work is very, I mean, if you work and been around the foundation, you should know exactly where we are going. If our systems are ready, would have been ahead. And I always said the reason is delayed, there is a reason for it. And that reason is things need to be to the position that you're needed, otherwise it's past. You can force a lot of things because you're a government, but you'll find out a lot of things don't have a government. Doesn't matter who you are, the most powerful man in the world, you have no say. We've seen it in the beautiful game in past 2 or 3 weeks. The American president calls and they change the rule that the black player cannot be put out because he's American. He has to be that I have a point. But they didn't say what happened. The FIFA decided that he can be off in the next year. They changed the rule because the president was the powerful man, the most powerful man. Do you know why FIFA changed and they kicked him out in the next game? Very simple. The both players decided Americans can kick the first ball, for example. When the ball goes out in the hand of the opposition, they don't kick it, they don't throw it, and the game stops till that player moves out. That's why Americans changed their position. FIFA changed because the both players were very simple. They said, this game player comes on the ground, which is, how come we all can be kicked out if we get a red card next game? When the ball comes to us, we don't kick, we don't throw. The game comes to standstill. Until the opposition doesn't throw the ball or don't kick the ball, there is no ball. You cannot kick the ball and start the game yourself. So FIFA got faced with the most powerful man pressurizing to change to nothing, because we as people have more say than a man who thinks has a power. It's like what we saw again this week. American lost 4-2. No, they have to go to the top. See how they changed this one this time. Power has to come with the consent of everyone to be. And these things gradually changes. Governments have no say because common sense works. The same with the cash coin. You will see how cash coin will operate. Why does a man in Africa to suffer with no money, where all the gold has been taken from him for centuries for the West to be rich? Now, gold has no value in Africa and has no value in Europe, because the man doesn't need to work hunger to make the man in the European rich. Now, knowledge, education, health, and wealth is equal amongst all of us. I didn't say I'll give you, the only two people is the Israelis and the Belgians don't get anything. Till they put their things right, then it's the decision of the Universal Council to change it. But the rest of you, it doesn't matter what color, race, religion, whatever you're all getting equal amount. I tell you something. I was talking to somebody in the world of politics. Says, do you know what the cash coin is going to do? Up to now, people from Africa came to Europe. Now, people from Europe will go to Africa, because 10 coins in Africa buys you a luxury life. 10 coins in Europe does not even pay for 3 months of rent to live in. Do you understand? The immigration will be reversed because people want the comfort. When this is part of knowledge seekers, you understand what's going to happen. There is a team of knowledge seekers in the background that they have made the apps, the Cash Foundation app, and the 30 teams are working on the same thing. We have to decide which one we go with. The app has to belong to the foundation. Now that we made it, we want to be paid for it. As long as you want to be paid for it, sorry, we give you 1 coin. That's all it's worth, because this app, you are in Africa, you want an apple juice or you want an apple for the baby, you press it, you get connected to what we're trying to test, the 10 units, 10 of you this next couple of weeks, and the app says apple. So you buy an apple with its energy and everything, you put it on the head of a child, it costs 1 cent. The guy in America or in Iran goes on the same app and presses and pays 1 cent. Why a kilo of apple in Africa should be 20 cents a kilo and the same apple is sold in New York for $10 a kilo? You got to understand what this cash coin and the structure behind it is going to bring. So would we immigrate to Africa? And would we all live off the app without going to Africa? But the Africans, the Americans, the Chinese all have one app in their hands, Cash Foundation app, through the enhancement game. Our store has everything you can imagine. I mean, I can't sell you furniture. If you want a chair, you have to come pay with a whatever, with a cash coin. But what the man needs is is food, is health, and the comfort of life, of peace of mind, is set in one form. And if you go further and understand this more, it'll be all in one package of the soul. You can do it yourself. You don't need the app. But the app is a transition. The effects of the cash coin on the world economy will be the most devastating thing man ever created. Because we all have access to the same thing. And because we have access, we don't fight for it, because I can have Apple, he can have Apple, why should I wonder what the world leaders will fight for next. Power, give us, elect us to be the next president because I can have a better Apple taste on the app. We see. Oh, very soon with the robots we are presidents, as most of them are anyway.
So, Mr. Kidd, what seems to be what you've just been speaking about there, that so you have somebody in extreme power, and they have a certain way of looking at things and viewing things that benefit themselves and some others. When you have this technology come forward and you have a soul that is part of it, they're going to have the same responsibility and ability to structure the environment, meaning that they can at will create interactions and various other matter state and non-matter state that will come into the matter state. So this then comes back to the question about the soul of the man and the soul of Da Vinci and stuff, where your interactions create a certain emotion and a certain field strength. So what's going to take place on the planet when you have souls that are very pure and they're there for a certain reason? They're not there to just take. They're there to share and to give and be loving and universal. And then you have these others that just grab everything they want. It's the same old question over and over again.
Oh, you see, we are not visionaries. We have brought the knowledge of creation with practicality. When you feed the man, when you give the man everything, the others can create problem, but at the end, the consensus wins. I just explained about Ghana. The president of Ghana, his wife, I met her in her office with got Mr. Huntrosh in the room. She was very adamant that, you know, the government wants everything of the Keshe Foundation belongs to them. I said, speaking to the president, this cannot be done. She said, you have to see the Minister of Science and Technology. I went to the Science and Technology. We had 2 or 3 meetings with him. And he said, one of my advisors in the background says, do you know what they're talking about? I says, let's Keshe Foundation, build the things here. We are African, we take it over from him, let him do his job. And I said, you can't steal a gift to him. I said, I brought a gift. And then he started rubbish on that. And I took a flight back to Ghana, and the press was there, and I explained, this guy is there. And then they did an investigation by the government, and they said, yes, the minister is has done fraud, and we have all the evidence about Keshe Foundation. And I have it in writing because the investigators of the prosecutor was on my WhatsApp, and it's all recorded. The conclusion was, yes, you're correct. Everything was done wrong to you in Ghana, but the minister has already been replaced. So, balance at the end, who lost? The Ghanaians. They harm the nation, but at the end, when we develop, we still give it to the Ghanaians. Read on the Keshe Foundation coin, if you can get into the website, read one of the cornerstones. You go to the Keshe Institute, read, you have to still sign the peace treaty. And we haven't signed, you don't sign it with me, you sign it with yourself. And when you sign something to, your soul takes responsibility. You go and break it, you see what happens. It's the marriage of physicality to the energy of the man. And you betray the marriage, you know what happens. It doesn't matter. Your wife doesn't know you're in the paternal. It's very strange. I talked about the Ukrainian guy who got blown up in Monaco. He was with the mistress. The mistress got her legs blown off. Hello, guy, the wife knows. How come you are going out with the mistress? Now the mistress got blown up. Is the news for you? Imagine what that wife felt when he found out about the mistress. And then which soul has to pay?
And according to the teachings, Mr. Kesh, and everything you've ever said, that the souls always have to balance out, and there's always
they're all balanced. They're all balanced. They're always balanced. This is why the ethos of Mitra is what I live by. I don't do wrong. I work. If it turns up somebody does wrong, oh, Mr. Kesh, you see, you done that. You see what happens to us afterwards, because we don't go out to damage. We don't go out to. I live through the ethos of Mitra, and I lived that ethos, not just because it's Keshe. I lived before it, because I understood the meaning of it. Why should I always said, why should I go out and steal 10 euro, and then I have to pay 10 euro back somewhere, plus I have to spend double making that 10 euro to give it somewhere, plus the time I would have done something else. So what fool gives 30 euro for stealing 10 euro? So living, it doesn't matter how much they harm us, how much, doesn't matter what they do. What happens under them? You understand?
I do.
That's what, then it goes with the souls.
So, Mr. Kesh, this would lead into probably my last question. So sorry, because I've taken up so much time.
Yeah, I have to leave in 20 minutes.
Okay, so just going to, one last question. So where does this lead us into with what's upcoming that you've organized through the Swiss and this conference and stuff, and you were going to show some other technologies and something, you know, game-changing, you said. So is this still on the cards?
Yeah, that part is to do with the life of animals.
Okay.
That part is partially for humans, but it's part of what to do with the animals. It's the animal kingdom. The soul is the same as human kingdom. And that part, not much has been done to. We did a lot of work in Ghana with it. We did a lot of work outside Ghana with it. And now we show it in Zurich. Zurich exhibition is another game changer, but this time for the life of kingdom, animal kingdom, not human kingdom. There's a reason for it.
And that's greatly needed, Mr. Kesh, and I thank you for that, because our humans only look at humans most of the time. We're so consumed with our own, you know.
Next week or so, a new trial is going on starts in China, in one of our research places. And I'm sure my team of the researchers will look how the fishes look, how they are. I look how happy the soul of the fishes are to be there. And we'll see what comes at the end of the test. Part of the test is now in Europe, part of it is in China. And which fish volunteers to be food to the others. Very, very interesting. I explained that. Very, very interesting if man understands it.
Thank you, Mr. Kesh.
You're welcome. Wish you all the best in your life.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Kesh.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Any other question? So I'll have to leave in by 5 to 4. 5. Any other question?
So, yeah. We have some questions in the Q&A here I'd like to address. We have a question from Nadir from the Brazilian community. Since we have a black hole through which our soul enters and leaves, I kept wondering whether cataract surgery, where a prosthesis is placed, will
Does
obstruct.
not make any difference.
Doesn't obstruct the soul from leaving.
Doesn't leave it. Does not make any difference.
What
Even
about
you lose your
sunglasses?
eyes, even if you lose your eyes, doesn't make any difference.
What about sunglasses?
No, really. It's the dimension of fields of the energy is beyond the matter energy levels. Next week you will understand. Next week you will understand a lot about yourself that you didn't know.
You keep alluding to next week, and it's quite.
I keep on teaching you things, but next week is an amazing process of conversion of the fields of the universe to man's energy. You will understand how. That's where I think if you understand where your 80% comes, then you will come to understand why should I give in to 20% to become a killer. But that's another job, another course of understanding.
Okay.
It will encourage a lot of research in the world of science. So send that part of teaching tomorrow to every university. If you have access to every scientist, any scientific paper, send them saying it's a scientific speech and talk, teaching, and see what response you get.
Okay, good. Well, speaking of science, we have a question from, I think it's Filippo, it's an anonymous attendee, and it relates also to another question from Marco from Brazilian community, and dealing basically with the interaction on the cellular level, specifically with calcium-40, and as you've mentioned, it's in the body, it's in the cells of every creature, and what affinities this isotope has with the human soul.
Wow. I must say past few hours. Next week teaching.
Okay.
Next week teaching, bring your what do you call your thoughts, and understand where it comes from, how we transfer it, and then you understand what's the game of the calcium in this transfer of energy. Any other questions?
We have a hand up from Mozirazan here.
Yes, something before I forget. Those of you who are members of the association, you've been a member, not the ones you come in new because you'll be past the time. The Austrian Association has called for a meeting that you can send your vote with or being present in a meeting allocated for next week. It's connected to your email. 2 points will be discussed in this because now the Keshe Foundation is coming in the hand of you as members of the Keshe Foundation. The ones who are present or send the vote, that counts. Otherwise, you can do whatever you like. It's the first time happening in the history of the Keshe Foundation as we are handing over the control of the Keshe Foundation in the hand of the public. Even me as the chairman and as the other members of the board, you send your vote. There are 2 or 3 points put in there. Send your votes for each one or attend, and the vote counts. The ones who vote count, not just you're a member. One of these attend that, I think it's 3 o'clock next week. The day is announced on your email. And only those members who receive it can come in. It's like the, what you call, the standard way we run the sessions. So when those who are emails are registered. One is that the Keshe Foundation companies, which is under my name control and under my management, or what you call as a CEO of the Market Corporation of the United States, and other companies which are connected to me can be joined as a cash coin operator, that we can deliver our products into the society in the Austrian Society Association. And the other thing is that the association accepts the coin, cash coin, to be used by the association for the valuation we put on it as an internal currency for our connection. This is important because this is the first time gradually we're handing over the control of the Cash Foundation under the institution of the Austria to people. Doesn't matter which nationality you sign under, which company or government, and you will start getting these, which means it's a free election. Then with the counts, the percentage doesn't count. How many get votes count. It could be 2 of you out of the 200, 300 of you, or 500 of you voted, or 1 of you, or all of you. The majority takes. And pay attention to your emails if you are a member of the institute you sign, that you send your votes in or you attend the meeting. I cannot be in the meeting because of the legal reasons, otherwise you can influence the decision making. Send your vote, yes, no, for whatever it is, the 3 or 2, whatever it's put in there by the institute, and to start managing the Cash Foundation. As I told you, I'm just a guardian till it takes over. The Institute of the Cash Foundation in Austria now, for the first time, is in your hand. Those of you. Next time, if you have 100,000 of you get the email for what is the decision by the Institute, then if 10 of the 100,000 reward, if it's 4, it's 4, and 6 against, it will be the 6, or all of you vote, and the majority of the 100,000 votes they take. So the transition of decisions of the Institute of the Cash Foundation on the Austrian Institute, not the Swiss or the others, wherever you have registered yourself for, is for the first time it's transferred to you. You are the first time you make a decision. We still carry on as a Cash Foundation worldwide, but Austrian Institute, and you become a member of, can accept cash coin and can accept, secondly, the operations which me, as being in the name of the owner or the directors of the companies, is allowed to bring our technology into the institute that you can purchase and pay with cash coin and the rest. This is very important, and be sure that Austrian government and Austrian institution and structure and the European are looking at this, even if it's the first time we hand over. They're observing that we follow the constitution and we just don't bring the cash coin into Austrian, into operation, and you being able to purchase the products of Cash Foundation through Institute, because it's a inside house coin, not outside. So we all have a very special connection. If you become a member after the email, it doesn't count. If you were at that time, you're given the right to be, you count to be there. And you receive an email and vote for it and start taking charge of the Cash Foundation. I hope you understood. And if you don't understand, look at your emails. If your registration was prior to date of the, the voting, it's the first time you as knowledge seekers vote in how your institute, as a Cash Foundation Institute of Austria, will accept the responsibilities and how it will be patented. We are handing over very gradually, very slowly, but step by step. I think the next, hopefully, and the others, as we take over step by step, hand over the responsibility and operation. So we call it a day. It's near the time I have to escape.
Right. Maybe we could get Mosier Zan's question in here.
Ask the question.
Hello?
Hello. Hello,
We can barely hear you. Could you get closer to your mic, please?
Oh, can you hear me?
That's better,
Yes.
thanks.
Yeah, okay. How can you make the government accept the cash coin, Mr. Gill?
Pardon?
How can we make the government accept the cash coins? Will they?
Oh, we
Accept it
know
or-
how. Don't worry. We know how. We know how to shake the tail of a cat. Don't worry. Our systems are not tuned ready yet, but in time, in the next few months and weeks, we will. Don't worry. As a politician said, this was needed a long time, but nobody could come up with a solution. We didn't do it the way it's done. You got to understand, when you stop a SWIFT for a nation and the children die from it and you're proud what you've done, we stop their SWIFT, we're forcing them. Children are dying in Iran because of the SWIFT. Children are dying in other part of the world, in Russia and the rest, because we control the money. Now nobody controls money. Americans are so angry with what has come out, they don't know how to do it, because now it's nothing, nobody's hand. It's in the skies. As you say, this is in the clouds floating everywhere now. Government will come to accept there is no choice. Because the way I said, you're voting on the acceptance of the Keshe Foundation coin in the Institute of the Austria next week. Gradually, governments have that. We have no choice. We don't need to force it. They'll come for it, you just wait.
Okay, do you have some
cash coins have been offered to the Keshe Foundation workers in China. It's on the table of the board of that. They have to find a way to do it legally, that we can do without disturbing anything within the next few days and weeks, how they do it legally. Once we have constructed that, then registered knowledge seekers will become the next set. And then when we look at the registered knowledge seekers, if you are 20, if you are 65, you receive the coins according to your registration. And then we see how you use it, how you exchange with each other internally. I have 2 eggs. I have spare furniture in the house. I don't use it. Would you pay me 0.1 cent of the Keshe Foundation coin? You start trading amongst each other. People will see they can do, and then you will see how it grows so rapidly. We back the universities to let children to be educated. Those who had no money because of it, had no food to eat because of it, they will get people. How did cryptocurrency came out of nowhere? But this time, your coin worth the same anywhere across the world. I don't need to go to a shop and pay $10 per kilo for a kilo of apple, and the guy in Africa can buy it for 1 cent on the app. I take the taste. I don't need to chew it, but I have the taste and the pleasure of it. Do the force. Just give us time. It took a long time. Another few months is not that bad. We did the same thing with the key. We gave the key of the technology to governments, a small one. I started with Sierra Leone, the first key, when we gave the key in 2011. He called, the ambassador called another ambassador. Oh, we received this key technology. Then we had, and then we told the knowledge seekers, and what happened? Oh, President of the United States, President Obama, 2 ambassadors called, can we have the key? Because we don't want to be behind. It's the same story. China, Africa, knowledge seekers. This is why it's important for you lot, you're our test. Knowledge seekers who register to us, you're a knowledge seeker, yes. But have you registered? Once you register, you get your code, you get your funds, and then you're going to start spending. Deal with each other, buy from each other, support each other. You can't sell it, but you can purchase from each other. I need to cash coin. I have 1 coin. I'm in China. I have no money. Anybody would like to get me some money? I drive and see you and give you some money for your cash coin. It's still €1,000. Now you understand it's going to work. Government will accept it. Don't worry about it. Thank you very much. See you next week.
Do you have any spare time this week? Because 2 weeks back you just said you can have a meeting.
Pardon?
You said 2 weeks back we can have a half-an-hour meeting.
I haven't had time.
Yeah.
You know how much time I don't have. If I had time, the teaching of today will not move from 9 to 1 o'clock. more or less
Okay.
24 hours a day. Just give us time to set things up and then we'll come to you. Okay?
Mr.
Thanks very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much for this week. Please join us. Make a recording of next week. Knowledge Seekers, first part. If you understand it, if you haven't understood it, in the world of science is an evolution in science. If you understand how we can convert the energies of the universe to our physical dimension, start its own research. Many universities in coming time spend time to understand how it's done. We know part of the knowledge, but we never connected it to our own life. Thank you very much, Rick, and hopefully see you next week. And we'll see what the life brings.
All right. Thanks, Mr. Kesh. Thank you. All right. Well, that brings to a close another Knowledge Seekers workshop here, number 650 in a continuous weekly line of workshops. And I'm reminded today that our YouTube channel is now 11 years old as well for the Kesh Foundation YouTube channel. And yeah, we carry on. Our next public teaching, let me look at my calendar. We have the public meeting for testimonials coming up on Monday. That's Monday, the 13th of July. And that starts at the 8 p.m. Central European Time, Central European Summer Time, that is, with folks that have stories or some sort of pictures or videos of their experiences with the plasma technology and their interaction with the as a knowledge seeker and the Kesh with the Kesh Foundation. And it's open to members of the public as well who would like to listen in. But it's especially good if you do have some kind of personal experience that you can transfer to others. That is a great opportunity to do that. So again, Monday the 13th at 8 p.m. for public meeting for testimonials. And then on Tuesday, we have our usual One Planet, One Nation, One Race for Justice and World Peace with the members and support members of the Universal Council who present that program starting at the 4 p.m. Central European Time, again on Tuesday, the 14th. Okay, we have one last thing to present, which is I asked for a member of the Universal Council to present their, I usually read something at the end of the program from the Universal Council, and I asked for a Universal Council member to read it instead, but I got instead a little video from Lissy, and I'll play that now. It's about a minute and a half.
Beautiful souls. We, the Universal Council, give thanks for your love and continued support, freely and conscientiously, given from your souls, to achieve lasting peace. Elevating the soul of every being in existence. We also invite you to focus each day at 9 p.m. to Central European Summer Time to give from our souls and invite all humanity to elevate the soul of every leader and every nation and every community to work as one soul in one direction to achieve peace
as one nation, one planet, one race.